Greetings! I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech, and welcome back to Epic Tech Reprise. Space Engineers Reprise, on Epic Tech. The thing you're watching. Welcome back to the thing you're watching. If you haven't seen previous episodes, go back and hit that playlist. There's one. You can find it if you try. It shouldn't be too hard. I think there's a link at the end of the video. Well, you can also find it on the channel page. So you can go back over there, you can hit the channel, down below. You can go to the playlist section, and it's there. Along with lots of other playlists, by the way. If you like my content, there's a lot of it. Like 700 videos or something like that. They're not all good. Some of them are really, really bad. I mean, in my opinion, maybe you'll like them. Give them a try. But one way or the other, welcome back. And we're going to do some fun stuff today. Yes, we are. I did a little bit between episodes. So I used the sweeper arm to sweep away lots of dirt and ice. And that dirt and ice went into my storage container over there and filled it up very quickly. So I had to make another one, which I was just standing on. I also made a hydrogen generator so that we can actually, have power. Because I didn't really have... I took out my uranium generator, my reactor, and I know it's kind of running low on battery juice. And I really need a better way to get across this. We'll probably be removing this arm now that it's done its job. But... you know what, maybe just moving it away would be good. Anyway, we're going to be doing a lot of changes to this base today, so it doesn't really matter. We'll figure it out. But I kind of wanted to point out some of the things that I'd done between episodes. Lots of O2 generators to make sure that the hydrogen generator is doing its thing. And it's also filling up this extra hydrogen. Estrogen is a different thing. Extragen is not a thing that I'm aware of. Extra hydrogen it's putting in this tank here. So that's at 56%. And we are doing really well with ice. Where's let's go take a look. I've got 81,000 ice in that container. And if we look at the other container, it has 1 million ice. So we're doing just fine. Just fine. All right. I also kind of wanted to be able to walk up to my ship here. So, ooh, machines are loud. And now I can just walk right into this. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Nice and cozy. Just in time for me to not really hang out there very much, because we're also going to be building an enclosed base over here. That's my plan, is to have something enclosed with oxygen inside of it. And then on top of that, I want to have a big solar array. And then that way we have a renewable form of energy in the form of solar. And I really need to do something about this. Let me at least get this out of the way. It doesn't need to be there anymore. So I'm gonna do all the things. What am I doing? The pistons. Gonna go ahead and do that, and then let's do, I think, this one. There we go. Stick that out there. Is that gonna stop at 0, or does that go all the way backward? It goes all the way backward. It's good. That's fine. I want to be able to do that so I can kind of come over here when I'm anxiously pacing. I do a lot of pacing. And I do a lot of pacing in real life too. It's just a thing. It's a thing. Okay, what? Let me jump. Thank you. Good grief. I kind of want to get that solar going soon, because the sun is just now coming up, and it'd be good to kind of, track where it's going, get a good feel for how we want to build these solar panels. So I'm going to start by building myself a nice little tower, like just straight up. And I had this idea of, I kind of wanted to have it in the middle of the open area of the base. So like maybe like right here, I'll just stick a thing, and we get a whole bunch of steel plates. I'm going to do on the inside... Ooh. Wait, I'm changing my mind. So I'm going to stick a conveyor right here. And on top of that, I'm going to put a small cargo container. This way, I can have kind of this, like I said, I'm going to have like this pillar in the middle of my base. And this will be a good way to grab parts when I'm working. I like that. I like that idea. From here up, I don't know that I'm going to need anything on the ceiling. So from here up, we're just going to do, I don't know, light armor blocks? I feel like I should do something else. I don't know why. But I think that's good. Let's do that. And I want to make it as high as I can. I mean, not as high as I can. I don't want to go all the way. I don't want to make some sort of crazy tower to space. That done that before. Don't want to do that again. Speaking of which, if you haven't seen my previous episodes, check out my original series. And in season 3, season 3, I built a tower to space, but from the Earth planet. From there. So it was like 40-kilometer tall tower or something like that. It was insane. I don't have that kind of time anymore. But we are going to go up to about there, I think. And this is where we're going to put on our solar array thing. So the first thing we're going to need is a good old-fashioned rotor. I feel like this will work. If I go up a little bit more. So this is going to rotate, you know, obviously, like this direction, but I also need something that's going to rotate this direction. And I'm thinking that if I do like this, and then I'm going to put in 2 more rotors. Put one here, and I'm going to put one there, like that. Yeah, like this. So we're going to go like this. And that. And this. Like that. Yeah, that should be good. And then the solar panels are going to be this. That. That. And like that. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. That looks real good. And then we'll be able to, like, extend these as far as we need to out. And I think we should be able to actually go down quite a way. So we can have some pretty large solar panels going. Now I just need to weld a whole bunch of stuff up. So you guys, you know, you can just, you know, you don't need to see this. This is just going to be a lot of boring. Okay, I have a solar tower of sorts. So right now, this is getting about 50% because the sun's over there, and that's not optimal. So we could go in and we could rotate this rotor around about 45 degrees, and we'd be getting closer to 100%, right? But then as the sun goes up higher, because it's kind of does this thing where it goes there, and then it kind of does this sort of thing. And we want to track that the whole time. Now, I could go in and fiddle with all kinds of settings and whatnot, or I could put myself in a computer and have the computer do it for me. Let me just grab these parts. I would, I mean, you can't. Okay, I need to do something. While I was working and getting the parts, I was noticing that it kept on using the survival kit. And I really don't want it to be using the survival kit. So I'm going to go and turn off the survival kit so it won't even try to use it anymore. Survival off. The other thing that is a problem with this is that when the survival kit makes things, it sticks them in the wrong place. There we go. Now I have everything I need for a computer. Let's go slap this down just right here. That should be good. And then I have one of my favorite scripts. Izzy's Solar. There are no subscribed workshop scripts. Excuse me? Oh, yes, there are. Oh, yes, indeedy, there are. There we go. Thank you. Just needed to refresh, I guess. Izzy's Solar Alignment. All you gotta do is slap it in here. There's a lot of configurations that you can use. The key is this rotor group name. So we're gonna snag that. Rotors. And notice we have rotor, and rotor 2. These should be my solar rotors. So we're just going to make a group called solar rotors. I'm going to save that. We're never going to mess with these individually. We're just going to turn these off like that so that we're not seeing them in the list. And now we should see that that'll start rotating in a moment. The other thing that I want to do, I'm going to go in here and hit edit. Because this is all the configuration and all the documentation you need is right in here. So I can do ISA, I can do ISA main. Let's grab ISA main. I'm just going to exit out of that. I don't want to change anything, but I'm going to change the name of this. I'm just going to put the word ISA main in there. It automatically re-changes the name, but now it's going to be telling me everything that's going on with the solar rotors right there on the screen. And you can see it's rotating, it's trying to find the sun right now. I'm gonna go ahead and fiddle with this just a little bit more, because if I go into custom data, I can say, what do I want to see? So don't need to see location time, so we'll change that. Oxygen status, we might use that later, but I'm probably gonna use a different script for that. That's probably fine, and then let's make it a little bit smaller, just so that it all fits. I don't like it scrolling around. So now we can see the battery status, the solar panel status, and what it's currently doing, which is aligning one vertical rotor. And it's not really a... Oh, is it? Is it doing the verticals or the horizontals? Why is it called that a vertical? Maybe because it's the first one it sees? Now, one way or another, this script is super smart. It will basically, it rotates until it finds the sun, but the way it figures out whether it's found the sun or not is by looking at the current efficiency. So it'll just rotate in a direction, and as it's rotating, it's looking at the efficiency. If it's going up, then it knows it's getting closer to pointing at the sun. If it ever starts going down, then it knows it's gone too far, and it'll kind of go back. And it'll kind of go back and forth a little bit and say, okay, this is where the sun is right now, and then it'll do the other rotors. And it'll keep doing that until the efficiency is at its highest. And as the sun moves, it sees the efficiency dropping, so it'll start moving until it has hit maximum efficiency. And eventually it'll figure out where it should be pointing at all times. And it'll just keep adjusting and doing its thing and always giving you the most you can get out of those solar panels. Neat, huh? Yeah, and now we have infinite energy. Well, energy that doesn't require fuel. And all we need to do is add on more solar panels on this to get more and more power. And we've got plenty of room to expand that. This makes me happy. We need another computer to manage inventory, because right now we're working with whatever inventory we happen to have, which is, you know, there's some parts in here, and then if I look around, if I just do like, you know, if I type in, that doesn't help. I feel like there's parts in other places. And this is, here's all of my ingots, and yeah, here we go. We got some like a computer or some computers and some solar cells over in this one, and right now it's actually fairly clean. But sometimes I'm working and it's like there's stuff all over the place, and we're short some parts, and it's just not really what I want. So just top off right there, and let's put in another computer. Also, I want to be able to use this container, so maybe I should start by hooking up the pipes. So what I did over here is these guys are... No, that's the wrong... Okay. These guys are reinforced conveyor tubes. So these are fun. We're going to use those. Put that here. These are great because they're airtight. And that, and then... Yep, like that. All right. And now we just need a whole bunch of parts. There we go. And now I should be able to grab parts out of this, which would be perfect. So I should be able to go to here, grab a programmable block. I've got all the parts I need. Lovely. This is gonna be like the Izzy section. And let's go hit edit, browse scripts, Izzy's inventory manager. Beautiful. There are a couple of things that I always change in here. The most important one, in my opinion, is auto container assignment equals false. If you're new to the game, go ahead and leave that on. But I am not new to the game, and I like to decide exactly where everything is stored. Auto crafting, I leave it this way at first, and I fiddle with things later, but I always put in a 10% margin on assembling and disassembling. This way it's not always trying to assemble and disassemble like one item. It's only gonna disassemble or assemble when you're 10% off of the goal. So it'll batch more is what it does. And then I scroll down and I find the section called LCD panels, and I grab IIM warnings first because I put that on the name here. And then that way, go ahead, boot up, do all your things. That way I get my warnings right on this screen. Okay, there you go. So it's telling me there's no containers for type ores. Well, I can handle that. Or ingots, or a lot of other things. For the most part, I want them all in here. So we're just going to come over here. And we're going to type in ores, ingots, components. That'll do it. That's enough. Now it's going to just start dumping all the ores, ingots, and components in here. And the very first problem we're going to have is it's going to fill it with ice. But that's okay. Any time now. You going to do it? You going to stick things in there? No? Okay, fine. Now we need to configure the auto crafting. The regular LCD panel, we're just going to stick it right there. Because why not? I'm going to do LCD panel auto crafting. Should be all we need, I think. Oh yeah, tools and ammo. We can stick in this one. Do this. We'll do tools, bottles, ammo. Wait, did I do this wrong? Every time. Every freaking time. I forget what it is, and I have to go back into the script. It is auto. Oh, but it has to be a capital A. I remember this now. Every time I forget this. It has to be. That should do it. There we go. And then I come in here, just single click like that. I come in here and I have to fiddle with all these numbers. And I've done it so many times now that I actually have a copy of all the numbers that I want. Okay, so that should be all of the numbers that I like to approach. But then there's things like, what do you do with a hand drill? If you put an I in there, it'll ignore that one and just not even track it and not do a single thing with it, which I do with bottles and tools for the most part. And then like ammo, I don't really use ammo. So I have it just automatically disassemble when disassembly is on. It's off right now, but when disassembly is turned on, if I put 0 and H, it won't show it on the screen, but it will automatically disassemble any ammo of this kind of ammo, at least, that shows up in the system. But right now, it doesn't actually know much about that ammo. It doesn't matter. I want it to be hidden. I don't want to see it. So, okay. Now, this should all reassemble, reassign itself. And then, boom. There we go. A bunch of things disappeared. That is really hard to see. There we go. So it should be trying to assemble almost all that stuff. If I go to production, the assembler is making a whole bunch of things. Survival kit is doing nothing because it's turned off. Lovely. All right. We're making good progress here. We've got power. We've got how's the power
Energy
going?
Low.
Thank you for letting me know. The power is not doing well in my suit. The next thing I want to do is get this place like airtight, which means putting in more flooring, walls, and then eventually a ceiling. And I'm hoping to do a lot of windows. Actually, that's something to think about. Bulletproof glass. If I'm doing a lot of windows, I actually want to have more bulletproof glass available, as well as more girders available. So I'm going to let's do 1,000 of each. So it's going to start putting that stuff together. And yeah, let's start laying down some floor. Okay, I like this. Walls. This is the next thing that we need. So this is this bridge window now. Just drop this in over here. Let's see what else we've got also. There's the half windows. These are nice as well. So there's this look, and then there's also this look. Now, this I would need to kind of come out here. Can I attach? Well, that's not going to work. What if I were to put this here? Like that. What does that give me? What is... I don't know what that gives me. Except for I would be able to do that. I kind of like this. Hang on, let me try this. So if I put in, like, let's say 3 of those, and then I were to put in...
Energy low.
Yes, I know my energy's low. This is because there's no oxygen, and it's cold, and my suit is constantly trying to keep me warm, and that's why I'm building a wall. Okay, get out of my way. Do this. So if I do something like this, I kind of have a cool view down. I can actually hop into this and look down, and if I continue this up, or even go straight up from this point, I'll have really cool, like, windows. I'll have really cool windows. Okay. So I'm going to do like that. We're going to come back over here and just grab a 1x1 flat. Inverted. Like this. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that look. Because it's kind of industrial while still being, you know, usable. Pretty-ish kind of words. That. And just kind of mirror the whole thing. Yeah? These bottom pieces are like They're like a third of a block instead of a half block. Now, I'm also going to want some windows on the roof, but not too much. I don't want this to be overboard window world here. Kind of, but I like the fact that it's got this, I don't know. Doesn't that look moon basey sort of, maybe, kind of? Yeah, like this. Just like that. It feels like they just kind of like spiked into the ground a little bit there. Now I could replace this top block to kind of match that, but I'm not sure I want to. I kind of think I might want to just leave it like that. Remember when I was talking about that whole 10% thing? So the bulletproof glass is at 925 out of 1,000. 10% of 1,000 is 100. This won't build until it gets below 900, and then it'll build. Okay, so now my question is, if I were to take that design and repeat it. So if I were to do 1, 2, 3, and then 1. Oh. Okay, where's this one? Hang on. Unknown signal. 4 kilometers over there, huh? I don't know, we could head over there. Oh, by the way, the other thing I did between episodes is go in and do some searching. So I found platinum and nickel and silver and cobalt, and I think that's kind of all I found. But there is actually platinum, and it's right... Where is it? It's really close. Surprisingly close. There we go. 500 meters. It's just right down in that little pit right there. And so I kind of want to make a outpost sort of thing over here. But I've got some other ideas. I don't need any platinum this moment, but I would like to go and get some at some point in time. Might as well grab some nickel while I'm there. That kind of thing. Anyway, back to this. I needed girders. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then this would be the far end. Now, one of the things I'm going to have trouble with is sealing off this side of the base over here. So I might have to move some things or do some crazy stuff. Now, one way or another, this guy's done for. I don't have any other purpose for him. I'm going to have to grind him down, probably between episodes, because it's just going to be grindy, put away parts. Grindy, put away parts, and just keep on going. Sounds like it could be a song. Grindy, put away parts. Like it's like a kindergarten thing. I don't know. Anyway, so once I get rid of that, then I can put a wall like back here, and we'd be able to seal up here. The problem would be, I don't think... Oh, actually, the back of this is airtight. The problem would be this side right here. So I might end up having to do something with... Well, that's right, I put a piston in here. I knew there was a reason I put a piston in here. So I could actually push that piston out and then just plate up that side. And then I'd need to do something with this. But we can figure that out when we get to that point. Either that, or I can put a wall here. And honestly, without that, without this arm thing, I don't need these. And if I just put a wall to this point, then I don't need to worry about all that trouble. I think that's what I want to do. And we'll have to figure out how we want to deal with these stairs, because I want to keep using these stairs as long as that refinery is there. Alright, so the next thing that I need to do is finish building up this wall and this wall over here, and then this wall here, and then a roof. I got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be a lot of just back and forth, copy paste kind of stuff. So through the power of editing, I'll see you in a minute. I think I like it. Yeah. I think it looks good. It might be just me, but I think this looks really good. There's still a lot more work to be done, but it's a good start. And an unknown signal was detected. Way up there. I don't want it. We do have some decisions to make, though. So, in here, I'd like to have, you know, like an airlock that I can walk, you know, do this thing where I can walk in here, right? Though, if I put the wall in, it's going to block my, my walkway. I can certainly get rid of these. I think if I get rid of one more, this whole thing will fall down. But do I need the airlock? So I could build something a little bit further away for this thing to dock to. I've never been really excited about my main thruster pointing at my refinery. So might be a good idea to change the way this docks. And in the meantime, I want an enclosed area. So, yeah, that's what I thought. Bye. I'll pick that up later. Also, I started to put the roof on and realized I was doing something not too smart. I was attaching everything to the insides of these blocks, which means that these are taking up a whole block, and I can't put in lights. Where are my lights? Where did I hide my lights? Over here. So if I want to have, you know, some sort of interior light, there's nowhere to actually attach it, because these are taking up that whole inner block, and that's not a good thing. So instead of doing that, I've got a little bit of a different idea for how I want to do this. Also need to finish off this part of the roof. So I was thinking I can continue this whole like ribbing reinforcement look. So if I were to do this, then I can do half blocks. Yeah. This kind of thing. And then using that, I'll be able to actually put lights on the inside, which would be really nice. Also, I realized I haven't colored or textured anything because that's just never on my radar, but it'd probably make things look a lot nicer. There is a new DLC item that is my new favorite thing, and that is
Energy
a light
low.
panel. Ooh, come on. Really? I'm in the middle of showing how to do something. Okay. These light panels have so much more area that they cover. It's absolutely silly. There we go. So that's like meh for light, right? Well, let's change that. So if I come in here and I find light panel, I'm going to name this light panel base 1 just so I don't lose it. The radius defaults to 3.6 meters, which is like a block and a half. But it goes up to 20. I'm going to bring the intensity down. I always like having a softer light. This one light panel covers this entire area. It's like 2/3 of my base with one light panel. I'm actually thinking I might go into the rock a little bit more and put another panel right there and just cover my entire base with 2 light panels. So nice. I kind of wish it wasn't DLC only, just because, I don't know, it feels like something that should be in by default. It's just lighting in this game can be such a challenge. And now I need to put up a ceiling, and we need to do an airlock. This is a lot for one episode. I'm thinking about how I'm going to actually make an airtight airlock over here. And I think it might be a little bit more of a challenge than I would like. So maybe instead of doing that, I'll do this. Oh, let me grab some steel plates. If I go like this, where are we at? Like that. I think I should be able to still get around this up here. Yeah, it's fine. And then I'll do an airlock over on this side to get out into my kind of patio area, if you will. Well, until we actually have air in here, an airlock is unnecessary. I think we're just going to go ahead and deal with that later. Just nothing I like more than not having to do things right away. I'm going to do this. Yeah. Now we just need a ceiling and a back wall, and we're good. So temporarily, I'm just going to throw in plates, because I don't want to end this episode without having a sealed area. Ooh, I think that might be it. Alright, let's go find out. Ooh, look at that. Oh yeah, and it's warm. Woohoo! Look at that, pressurization. I'm also realizing I want to change the shape of that center column, because I know what you're thinking right now, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's childish, and it's unbecoming of a space engineer. I know you see it, I see it, we all see it. Just gonna change it right now. I'm gonna put in just something else that just changes the shape enough that, you know, it's not the only thing you see anymore. Is that less? See, that looks more space engineering, right? Is that better? It's like a column, structural column, instead of something else. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. There. That is much more mature. And nobody can look at that and think it's anything other than just a column with a couple of computers at the bottom. And it's time to move on. Stop giggling now. As much as I want to stop giggling. Okay. Alright. I think it's enough for an episode. I will see you again on another episode of where did that come from? I'll see you next time on Epic Tech, where hopefully I'll remember my outro. I won't see phallic shapes in the columns that I make. And like, I was probably the only one that saw that. And it was just me being men don't grow up, they just lose their hair.